Albert Einstein once said that play is the highest form of research. Well, let's get ready to do some research. This is Teach, Play, Learn, the podcast, and I am your host, Adam Peterson. Before we get to today's episode, gotta give a huge shout out to the guys behind our intro music that we use, Brian and Neil, my buddies from the band Cuckoo Kangaroo. Visit cuckookangaroo.com to see more of their music and awesome merch, as well as check out their YouTube channel. And a big thank you to our sponsor of Teach, Play, Learn, the podcast, Jose and Sean, my friends from Berteau & Co. If you don't know what Berteau & Co. is, use the shopping link in the show notes to visit berteauandco.com to see top-notch teacher planners, at-home planners, t-shirts, and more with the coolest designs on them. And when you use that shopping link and use the promo code AdamP15, you will save yourself 15% off your order at berteauandco.com. Let's get to today's topic. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. So excited to talk Teach, Play, Learn with you today with the author of the foreword of the book, as well as many other books. And she is a self-described 73-year-old who does not want to grow up. My good friend and play-based guru, Dr. Jean Feldman. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. And you know, the good thing about being an early childhood teacher is you don't have to grow up.
That's right.
You know, that's just part of who you are. And I think if you do grow up, you're going to lose that joy that we want to give children.
Yeah, I wanted to start with the first couple sentences that you wrote for the foreword because I absolutely love them. You said, "I have received countless emails from frustrated teachers because they are not allowed to have blocks or dramatic play or art or music or recess or play. The reality is that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, and it makes our children dull as well." I love that line to start the book because it sets the stage and the tone for the whole book. And you say it better than anybody else.
Well, thank you. And one other thing I keep saying is the world keeps changing, but children are the same. A 5-year-old's just the same as I was, 70 years ago. They want to play. They want to have fun with their friends. They want to be loved. They want to feel competent and capable. And with play, every child can feel competent and capable,
right,
and have fun.
And like you say, you've done your research, you've looked at it all, you've seen it there. Research is still being done on this kind of stuff. You just shared an amazing article with me the other day out of Texas, I think it was. That was a cool little video article. So I want to start with the question that I got asked. And the reason I teach the way I teach or taught the way I taught, and the reason I wrote the book was, why play? So when someone says that to you and you're out and people who don't think like us, because there are people who don't believe this.
Right.
Why play, Dr. Jean Feldman?
Well, because playing makes you smarter.
That's as simple as that. I like that.
Playing is a natural animal instinct. I mean, all animals play. Children play. That's what we're born to do. And sometimes we even learn through play. Actually, I'm being just a little
sarcastic here.
To me, and all play is purposeful. Free play is the best, and that's what children are losing out on so much, just going outside in nature. And it was a different world when I was a little girl. We didn't have televisions and we didn't have screens, and there wasn't anything to do but go outside and play and use your imagination. I mean, I got one toy for Christmas, so I had to use my imagination. And that's one of the concerns with so much emphasis on structure and academics, is that we're taking away children's ability to be creative and to imagine.
Right. It's funny you use that word imagination. Last night we were sitting around. We always kind of end our night at home with we relax on the couch and watch what we call a family show. Like the four of us sit down together, and before we go to bed and read stories, we watch a little show. And Landon, our son, who is 9, was on the floor, and he's got his Legos spread everywhere in the living room because we're just in that mode. And I'm just watching him, and I'm fascinated by hearing him go and build all these things. And I just smiled, and he looked at me and said, "What are you doing, Dad?" I said, "I'm just watching you, buddy. I love seeing you use your imagination." He goes, I'm just playing. And I was like, exactly. It was so fun to hear him say that. So,
right. And playing with something real and hands-on. And I think, out of all the issues that are going on in the world right now, one of the things I keep saying is, ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like the real thing. You can be the best screen in the whole wide world, but it's nothing like giving kids blocks and Play-Doh and taking them outside to swing. That's what they need.
That's awesome. Yeah. So now that we're on the topic of that, if someone said to you, all right, I love these ideas, I really want to get my classroom transformed to this, but it's hard because I don't know where to start. I know things aren't everything, but what top 3 things or strategies, I guess, would you recommend to a teacher who's trying to step into the play-based world and get more play into her full-blown curriculum?
Right. And I think, one of the best places to start is with your own memory of what you remember as a child and things you enjoy doing. And I tell people, if I can have 2 things in my classroom, I take blocks and books. I mean, I love wooden blocks. And one of the things that I found lately is that we're just putting too much stuff. Keep it simple. Just
Yep.
plain wooden blocks. If you just give kids plain wooden blocks, have you ever seen a child pick up a wooden block and they just stroke it? It's real, it's natural, it feels
Oh,
so
yeah.
good. And, so interested now in engineering skills and technology. What the best way to do that with blocks? You don't have to put all those little plastic figures and signs and things. They're just plain simple blocks.
Yeah, there's nothing I love more than past students of mine, because I taught in a K-8 building, and we would get junior high kids popping by all the time, and they'd see the kids playing with the blocks and like, oh, can I go play too? Like,
Yeah,
13, 14-year-olds, that's what they wanted to do, was go build.
Yeah. It's a natural item, and it's a good thing to do. I also have housekeeping.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
oh, nothing better than housekeeping and baby dolls, and that's how they learn to be grown-ups. They work out roles when they're little.
Mhm.
With housekeeping area, and you can call it dramatic play and change it, that's fine too. And then probably another area would be the easel and the creative arts and open-ended art activities, not just cut and paste and glue, but supplies that children are welcome to get out and use. And that could be Play-Doh, that could be natural items, things like that. So those would be the 3 most important ones to me.
I like that. And I was going to ask you your advice, but I think you kind of just gave it with all of those things. One thing I want to point out and kind of talk about you, I guess, if we're going to do that today, is the one thing I love about you is you've stuck to your roots even in these changing times. You're not someone who has started forcing technology in the hands of kids. You go right back to finger plays and puppets and sing-songs and dances. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when you started out doing this and ventured out into the world of recording music and performing for kids and doing all of that, that was probably new back then, right? Like there weren't others doing that kind of stuff. And I love about you that you've kept that alive all these years. And I don't mean to say all
Yeah,
these years.
no, because I'm not a musician. I'm just a teacher who likes to sing. There were musicians back then doing children's music, but I don't think there were a lot of people who were classroom teachers and just said, let's sing, or, hey, maybe we could learn this if we put it to a tune, something like that. Somebody told me one time, draw a circle on the ground, and put one foot in the circle. And that's the foot that represents everything you believe about children and early childhood. And that foot does not move. You keep it there. The other foot is outside the circle, and you have to dance around. You got to dance with the one that funds you. You got to dance with the one that brung you in. Things change in education, and you have to dance around with it. But keep that foot. And if you know the research, if you know what you're talking about, you can validate those things. Sometimes people who have never taught that grade level want to come in and tell you what to do. And so sometimes you have to help educate them and help them understand how children learn through play. You look at the brain research, you look at anything, and it will validate what you and I are talking about, Adam.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So I want to talk about you for a minute and how people can find your work. I know they can find you on social media. You do these Facebook Lives all the time, but besides writing the foreword for my book, I know I can see on the shelf behind there, you've been not just a musician and an author of songs, but you've written books, you've written articles, you've written all kinds of stuff. So
I've written over 20 books for Scholastic, Griffin House, Creative Teaching Press. Yeah.
It's amazing. So this is probably a tough question, but what piece of work, whether maybe we'll go both ways, song and book, if you could pick your favorite, like what are you most proud of in this world of Dr. Jean and Friends?
It's like asking somebody who your favorite child is. I can't answer that.
Don't do that.
It depends on the day and time, Yeah. It depends on what kind of mood you're in. If you want to do something silly like tootie tie, or you want to exercise the brain and do waliacha, or you want to, take them on a field trip and do a cool bear hunt. It just depends.
I'm so glad you mentioned the three that you did there. Is one thing I love is I can go into any room and I'll mention in my writing session, I talk about you a lot and some of your writing stroke songs. And I know we've talked about that before. You crashed one of my sessions one time and did that with me. It was so fun out in Pennsylvania. And I always say who's a fan of Dr. Jean Feldman? And a lot of the teachers in the room will be like, oh my gosh, we've used her for years. And you can always see like the teachers that are fresh out of college. They're like, am I supposed to raise my hand? And all I have to say to them is like, Tootie Ta, the banana dance. And they're like, oh my gosh, I love her.
Yeah. That guacamole song, I don't know what the miracle of that is, but I can meet any teenager and I'll say, do you know the guacamole song? Like, are you the guacamole lady? Yeah.
That's so fun.
But you know what? That's an example that there's still a little kid inside those teenagers. They want to dance, they want to sing, they want to be silly.
Yep.
And Adam, one of my favorite stories when my grandson finished kindergarten, and he had a fabulous teacher, but I said, KJ, did you ever do the Farmer in the Dell? And he said, no, he never did the Farmer in the Dell. And I actually started to cry. My husband said, why are you doing that? Now, if you don't do the Farmer in the Dell by the time you get out of kindergarten, you're never going to get to do it.
Right, exactly.
You're going to have time to sit in front of that screen, but you're not going to get to do the Farmer in the Dell or play London Bridge and all of those good traditional songs. And when children are doing those, they are developing the executive function, oral language, brain research. I mean, it's just multiple things that they learn when they're playing a silly circle game.
No, it's amazing how what you've taught and what you started with, those little things like the brain research and the circle games and the hand clapping and the finger plays and all that has spread into other things. And I was actually chatting with some friends of mine who are on a different side of the music scene, Cuckoo Kangaroo, the crazy guys who do dance songs and whatnot. And I said to them one time, I'm like, how did you get into the world of educational, like teachers using your videos and songs? And they threw out your name. They're like, well, we were doing this work with this company called Go Noodle. And they mentioned this lady, Dr. Jean, about she's so big on crossing the midline. So we started writing lyrics to songs that made kids cross their midline. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love to hear that. Like, because they were a completely different side of the music world than you are. And it was cool to hear that tie and that connection, how someone who writes goofy pop songs to use that one little trick for kids. And they threw out your name, and it was cool.
Oh, that's a great story. Yes.
I have to say, one of my favorite ones, though, and we do this every year in my classroom when I was there, was your Pizza Hut song. That was always one of my favorites to do during our community.
And you know what? And you can find something wrong with anything. Somebody accused me of teaching children bad health habits with that song, and don't take things too seriously. Right? Nothing that I have done has ever been meant to hurt a child or demean anything. I mean, it's all about just having a good time and making life a little better for kids.
Well, I think
and
there's
because if the
teachers,
if the teachers are having fun, the kids are going to have fun.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to say about the fact that you're still doing this. You're still being invited to speak. Kids still love to see you dance and sing. So I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me as a teacher, for writing the intro and the foreword to my book, for helping teachers continue to realize how important play is, and doing your thing that you do all the time. I know you got to jump on a Facebook Live to teach more teachers and students, but I value your friendship and your guidance more than you will ever know. And I just feel lucky that I get to learn from you all the time. So.
And I thank you because you are a pioneer now out on, I'm passing the torch on to you, Adam. And just, we have to remember they have one chance in a lifetime to be a child. And I think that's one of the things about being quarantined that some of us, it's almost like putting us on pause and reevaluating some of the things that we believe and some of the things that are important to us. And another thing I'm finding is that there's a whole new appreciation for teachers and educators.
Oh, yeah.
and they all the love, all of these things teachers are doing right. I mean, it's amazing how much the teachers love their children. They love them like they love their own children. And I think finally people are realizing that we are all for your child. This is what we do. We're passionate about them and care about them. And there's, every cloud has a silver lining. So maybe this is one good thing that's going to come out of all this mess.
That's a good way to look at that. So I mentioned that you're going to jump on a Facebook Live. How can people that aren't following you right now find and follow Dr. Jean Feldman so they can continue to learn from you?
Okay, so if you go to drjeanandfriends.blogspot.com, that's the best place to go. I
Right.
do a new blog every day, and all you have to do is put something in the search engine. Today, my Facebook Live is about how to have parties, Zoom parties at the end of the year, because we've never
Awesome.
had to do this before. So I'm really excited about doing Facebook Live today. I also have a website, drjean.org, loaded with free activities. I have a YouTube channel, Dr. Jean YouTube, and you can, I make videos for teachers. I also have lots of videos for children and songs and stories. And I have Instagram and Twitter, Dr. Jean Song. So,
All right. Well,
am
and
I
hopefully
missing
we'll see
something?
you.
Am I missing something?
I think your website is the best place to go. And you talked about your blog. I
Yeah.
share that all the time when I'm out. I'm like, guys, if you want to just like get lost in the internet for a few hours, get lost in Dr. Jean's blog.
Any topic you want, if you put it in my blog, you'll probably find something. If you don't, email me and I'll do a blog about it.
It's pretty amazing.
You know what? I've been at this rodeo 50 years. I've collected a lot of things from teachers, and teachers don't steal ideas. We borrow ideas and we harvest them and share them. And so I'm just delighted that I still have something to give back.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Jean. It was great chatting with you. Thank you again for helping with my book. Thank you for all you're doing, and I'll let you go get ready for your live.
Take
But
care, God bless, and
appreciate you.
never stop playing.
That's right.
People don't grow old. People don't stop playing because they grow old. They grow old because they stop playing. So just keep on having fun and loving those kids. Take care. God bless. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you all so much for listening. If you want to hear more music like what you're hearing right now, visit cuckookangaroo.com. And then please like, share, and rate this podcast wherever you're listening to it so others can find it too. I'll see you guys on the next episode. 'Cause you are the best.